My name is Lyle Henry, and I want to welcome you to Tai Chi for Better Balance. So let's get started. Adjust the lights here just a little bit, bring them up. Yeah. So I think one of the hardest positions of Tai Chi or any exercise program is this, getting started. So, or at least we're here right now. So let's get started and start off with some breathing. Just nice and easy breathing. We want to bring the breath all the way down to the bottom of our diaphragm. So nice and easy, just breathe in. Fill your lungs, feel it filling, keep filling, keep filling, keep filling. And let's exhaust. Keep going, keep pushing, keep pushing. Back in again. And out. Inhale. Exhale. Push more out. Exhale. Very good. Try to do that several times during each day. We're going to start off with our necks. I'm just going to relax our necks, put our chin down to our chest. It's nice and easy. Start to feel that little stretch in the back of your neck. Just let it sit there for a second or two. Now rotate off to the left. We're going to rotate. We're going to kind of point our ear down to our shoulder. Don't bring your shoulder up to your ear, but rather your ear further down to your shoulder. And just nice and relaxed. You may hear some popping, and that's fine. Let's rotate back down to center and over to the right. And again, just point that ear to the shoulder. Rotate back down, all the way through and over to the left. Hearing popping and crackling and so forth, that's just natural. And back down again. Sometimes you feel like you have a kink in your neck or something, do this rather than moving your head back and forth. And back down again. All the way to the other side. And let's complete that. Be sure to try to keep your knees a little bit bent. And back down to center. And let's lift our heads up. Nice position here. Got my knees just a little bit bent here. And I'm going to start some shoulder rotations. So just getting my shoulders warmed up. What we're doing is some warm-up exercises as we'll be using all of these muscles for our forms. We can kind of see some of these as we go along. I'll point them out. I'm going to go to the side here just so you can kind of see this rotation that I use. I don't know if any of you remember some of the old movies where the locomotive is sitting at the station and then it starts off and the train kind of does this kind of a motion like this. Let's reverse that and go to the opposite direction that you're going in. And again, just nice rotations. I'm demonstrating Tai Chi. I like to have my arms exposed so you can kind of see what's happening. And I'm going to go back to the front. Let's go to our waist, or as some people in our class said, let's find our waist and then rotate them. So we're just doing nice rotations. Just kind of opening up our waist. Let's go to the back, side, the front, and to the side, and to the back, front, side. Just keep that kind of rotation going. I'm going to turn to the side here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Yeah, it's just a nice rotation. Put my buttocks back and forward, push out to the side, to the back. Let's reverse that on the other direction with nice rotations, loosening up that back, waist. Turning back to the front. Let's go to our knees. And again, we have a nice just a bit of a sit down. I'll show you from the side here in a second. We have nice rotations again, just easy rotations. Remember, when you're doing these exercises or warm-ups, it's to your limit. It's not to my limit or the person next to you. It's to your limit. And so what you want to do is work towards that, though. Sometimes we have a tendency to say, well, that's good enough. And of course, it is good enough, but what we want to do is kind of start stretching ourselves out so we can gain some muscle. You see him kind of almost like a sit down kind of a position as I'm going around rotating the knees. And of course, some people, it just depends what you can do. So just go to your limit. And then going back to the front, I'm going to come back up. And let's do some hand exercises. And so basically put my hands straight out, and I'm going to start wiggling my fingers. Again, as we kind of age, we have some arthritis probably, or just stiffness. And this is a good way to just work that kind of stiffness out of our fingers. So now let's make a claw, and then a fist. And let's rotate those down, okay? So all I'm doing is kind of pointing my knuckles to the floor. Come back up, and nice wiggle again, claw, fist, and rotate those down. Back up again, wiggle, claw, fist, rotating down, and turn to the side. So I'm just basically wiggling my fingers here, making a claw and a fist, and then rotating down. When I rotate down, I feel this little bit of a stretch coming through here, especially in this area right here, which is good. Come back up, let's wiggle some more, then come down and rotate. Let's do what I call flashing. Okay, so we're just going to flash our fingers out here, and then we're going to flash off to the side. So keep flashing our fingers as we move our hands off to the side. And now let's go thumbs up. So we have our thumbs up, and we're just going to rotate those back. So just kind of rotate. When you're rotating your shoulders, of course, to get those thumbs to rotate back. And then rotate back to the front. Again, nice and easy, rotating to the back and to the front. To the side. You can see that, but I'm just rotating the back and rotating to the front. My shoulders again warmed up. And this takes all the way down my elbows, my wrists. I can feel it all the way through there. And let's do it again to the back and rotate back to the front. Very good. Let's go into T service, which is basically palm down, and we're going to think about have a teacup on our hand here, palm of our hand, and we're going to rotate this around. As we rotate, we want to kind of look into that palm. We rotate back down, and let's go off to the other side. Nice rotation. Look into the palm and come back down. Again, rotation, and back down. If you think about this move, it's used like in, or we're using these muscles of this rotation in single whip. Incidentally, what I'm going to be doing here today in Tai Chi is what's called intermediate. So I'm not teaching a beginner Tai Chi. If you've never done Tai Chi before, you can certainly follow along and see the moves. So I'll be going kind of slow explaining them. But this is intermediate. So there's expectations of that you have done Tai Chi before. And so at this time, when I rotate up, I want to lift up, straight up, kind of like a white person might do in a restaurant, carrying a full load of dishes or glasses. And rotate up and back down. And rotate again, back up. I remember the first time I ever carried glasses, there was a full tray of double stacked martini glasses at a lodge up in Minnesota that I was working at. And I was going up the stairs and I got to the first landing and the tray slipped and all the glasses fell to the ground. So that was my experience, first time. All right, let's go to push the mountain. So this time I want to have our palm facing our stomach and the other palm going out. And we're just going to push out nicely, keep our thumbs down as much as possible. And we're kind of push out as if there was a mountain or a wall here that I'm trying to push into. And again, I'm pushing out. Come back, reverse that, and push out. As my movements are kind of slow and deliberate, and that's what you want to do in Tai Chi. Be sure that you're exercising and it's working these muscles, and so you want to think about those as you're doing them. I'm going to turn to the side here. As I do so, you see I'm kind of just pushing out. I'm not leaning forward. You don't want to lean forward. You want to keep your body straight and just push out. So as I'm pushing out here, I'm kind of feeling that right through here is a nice stretch. Get all this stretched out. And again, keeping your thumb as best you can pointed straight down. And as you see, my hand is about shoulder height. Some people take them up a little bit, and that's fine, wherever you're comfortable with. Very good. Let's move we'll go to stop sign if you're familiar with that. But prior to that, what I call a windmill, which is basically the same thing. But now I want to just kind of rotate these back and forth. I'm just kind of getting a warm up here. I don't know if you can see the top of my hands. I'm getting kind of just a nice rotation. Again, let me turn to the side here, kind of demonstrate. I'm just trying to rotate. As you can see, this right arm on my shoulder doesn't go all the way down, but that's what I'm stretching that out. I'm going to come back to the front here for you, and this is going to turn into what's called a stop sign. So basically, again, I have this turning to the side, and I keep turning, at least it's trying to get as kind of a perpendicular, if you will. And if you can go further, that's fine. What you don't want to do is bounce. In any exercise, stretching, you don't want to do a bounce, which is kind of like, oh, I can take a little bit further and I'm going to kind of jerk it. You don't want to do that. You just want to stay with a nice, easy, continuous turn. Stretching, we want to do, we want to be deliberate in what we're doing. Whether you're trying to touch your toes on a bench or wherever you're doing, it's not a jerking motion. Jerking is going to tear at your muscles, and we just want to stretch our muscles. Always enjoyed stretching. It's a great way to keep our muscles kind of toned up. Very good. Let's put our hands down. And let's kind of just wiggle it out. Sometimes it feels good to just kind of wiggle those muscles back out. So let's Let's go to our feet. So we want to start doing is just kind of a rotation here. And so I'm going to have my heel down, and I'm going to rotate my foot. Okay, I'm going to rotate that. I don't know if you can see it that well, but I'm rotating my hip. Okay, so I'm really kind of rotating everything that will rotate, but starting up here at the hip. And notice that what I'm trying to do is I get off to the side. I want my foot to be perpendicular. I kind of just do a little tap down because that gives another little nice stretch to my legs. And again, and keep in mind it's to your limit. So if you can just go like this, fine. Press it out to whatever you feel like, oh, that's as far as I can go. And then tomorrow or the next day, when you do it, you better go just a little bit further. All right, so now let's go toes down, and we'll just rotate this way. So we'll call this squishing the bug. Nice, just rotations, opening up, or closing here, but opening up and come back around. So I'm going to open up, close, open up, and close again, and open up. Very good. Let's do that with the other foot. So again, it's nice rotations, looking off the heel. This is actually exercise because when we do the single whip, this is actually our foot position. And it's very perpendicular, one foot to the other. Again, this is Tai Chi for better balance, which basically says I want to have good balance when I'm walking or around the house and so forth. And as we age, our stride changes, how we step changes, and so forth. And so the idea of Tai Chi for better balance, the exercises in it, keeps us kind of focused on how we should be stepping, so we kind of subconsciously make those moves on our own. Let's go back. And now we're just going to do some taps. So it's nice, again, nice and easy. We're going to tap out. So we're going to front and to the side and to the back and back to center. Again, front to the side, to the back, and to the center. Front, side, back, center. I'm going to change up on you. Go to the back, side, front, center, get to the back, to the side, to the front, and to the center. Now let's go to the back, and this time just hold it for a second. Let's go off to the side, hold that for a second. To the front, hold that. Back to center. Now this time go to the back and just lift off. Okay. Just want to lift off, back down. To the side and lift off. When you're doing this, don't be looking down at your feet, okay? You'll throw you off and you won't be able to balance very well. So, and then go to the front and look out, maybe 7-8 feet out, find a dot on the floor spot someplace, and lift off, and back to center. One of the reasons we want to do this is we want to start thinking about not looking at our feet when we walk. I mean, how many people, how many of you just look down when you're walking? I'll catch myself doing that also. What we want to do is get a horizon further out, okay? Because when we have that, we actually have better balance as we move that out. So the idea, let's go to the back here, back, to the side, to the front, and again. So if you think about, you're looking down because maybe you don't want to trip over something. Well, if you look out 8 feet, 6 feet, whatever, that distance there, nothing's going to change by the time you get there. So it's much better balance to try to look out. Let's go back to the back, hold that, off to the side, hold that, to the front, and hold that. Back to center, now let's go to the back and just lift off. Off to the side, lift off, and back to the front, and and lift off. Okay. And it's the center, just lift up. Very good. And now let's check our, what's called checking the balance. So what we want to do is just kind of rotate, see how you're doing. Okay. And again, rotate and rotate. One of the things, if you have something, if you're right now, if you have a chair close by or something, you know, you can always just touch like this. What I do a lot of times when I'm in the kitchen, maybe I'm waiting for a microwave to heat up tea or something like that. And you can just touch, just a light touch will help you a great deal. And you can try to do, you know, some of these types of things. And again, you know, maybe you can, maybe you can't, but maybe you can do this, you know, by touching, and that's good. So that's what you want to be able to do, just that light touch will help you a great deal. All right, so let's do something we call a tub step, okay? It's like kind of like stepping into your tub, which if you take a bath, you do, or if your shower has a little ledge on it, getting in or out. And so what I want to do is just a nice step over and down, and a step over and down, step over and down, and step over and down. We do this move when we do waving hands like clouds. Step over and step down. Step over, strike with our heel, and step over and down. Very good. Let's step back over and get out of the tub. There we are. Okay. I'm going to drink. Our last warm-up is working our knees, a little bit of our upper body. And so what I call is the carousel. If you think of a carousel, it goes round and round, and the animals on there are basically going up and down. If you ever look at it, they're going straight up, straight down. And just the kind of illusion of them doing anything different. And so that's what we want to do, is just kind of go straight up and straight down. So in doing that, I'm just going to kind of put my hands on my shoulders here. And I just want to go down and up, down and up. You kind of see with that door behind me, you can see I'm just trying to go down in a straight line and up. I'm going to turn to the side here to kind of demonstrate what I'm talking about. What I want to do, as you see, I'm kind of sitting down, okay? I'm trying to keep my head in that same up and down, as if there was a string, something attached to it. But it's just me down, go back up. So down and up. I don't want you leaning over like this. You're just going down and up. Let's do a couple more. Down and up and down and up. Very good. Now we're going to do what's called picking up leaves, which is basically the same movement with our legs, but we're going to kind of incorporate our hands into that. So apologize if my hands just disappeared off the screen here, but so I want to lift up and I want to come down. I'm going to pick up some leaves, so to speak, okay? And then scatter those out. So I'm coming down again, and just nice rotations with my shoulders, my knees are working here. It's like sitting on, the chair. And another good exercise for you is just sit on your chair and get out of your chair. Sit on the chair and sit back down and get back up. I'll try to start off with 5 of those and then try to work up to 10 of those. It's just a really nice way to, again, kind of just keep your legs and thighs and so forth in condition. Very good. So we completed our warm-up, and now we'll move into some forms. As I said, intermediate Tai Chi has the expectation that you have completed the introduction to Tai Chi, which is learning each of the forms and how they operate. So let's start off with nice sunrise, okay? The sunrise is just kind of as we started the exercises here, Just a nice breathe in, raising our hands up. And a nice exhale. Breathe in, sunrise and sunset. Sunrise, sunset. Very good. Shift your weight to the right and shift your weight to the left. Shift your weight back to the right and hold the ball. Hold the ball is the basic of Tai Chi. I've got all my weight, or my weight basically is on my right leg at this point in time. And my hands are forming, you could see if I was holding a ball, probably a basketball in my case. Other people want it, whatever size works for you. And oftentimes we get confused which way is what with our hands. Very easy to remember. Way to remember is this is where I got my pressure going down. I'm applying pressure with my upper hand, so I'm pushing down. So very nice and easy way to think about how that. Quickly from the side, you can see I've got my weight on here. I've got this knee bent back to the front. Okay, so let's move to hold the ball to the left. A nice step over. My heel strikes first, and I step to the side. Okay, just like our bathtub step. Nice step over, and I'm back to hold the ball on the right. Part the wild horse's mane. I step out diagonal. Lower hand goes up, and I just run my hand down the mane, and I step up into it. As I go along here, I'm going to have to reposition myself, which is, I'll call those out to you. Step out, goes out, and just a nice run down the mane, and step back up to it. I'm going to reposition here to get back in place here. All right, so single whip off to the side. We grab the whip, so to speak. Now my foot goes out in a diagonal. My hand turns into a nice block. I push it out, come back. My foot turns to the front. And I come back into the hold the ball position. Same thing off to the right. Grab the whip. Nice diagonal move. And I throw out a block. It's called blocks because of the Tai Chi kind of came out of martial art movements. So wave hands like clouds. All right. So I'm going to nice step as my left hand comes up or going to the left. And I'm watching my palm as I come back around. Watching my right. Again, a step to the left. Trying to keep my hands moving as I can. And we call hit the wall here. And we close again with hold the ball. Moving to the right. I step. Nice step. And again, a step. My heel. And close. Repulse the monkey. Nice half step back. Push out. And now I'm going to rotate my body. I'm going to come over the top. We often say calling our friends as we come back around and pull back. Again, push out, half step back, rotating over the top, and closing with hold the ball. Brush knee, step out, brush knee, push out that block, come back over the top, and close with hold the ball. To the right, step out, brush my knee, push out with the block, and come back over the top and close. Fair leader works at shuttles. diagonal step, forming half of the V block. And now my other hand comes up and I push out. My weight goes to the front, weight shifts to the back as my foot comes around to the front, and I step up. To the right, step out, the block, the other half joins it, push out, shifting my weight, step back, turn my foot, and close, repositioning. Grasp the peacock's tail. So stepping out, just like parting the wild horse's mane. Come back up. As I do, my weight goes to the front, and now I'm bringing it down the side of the peacock, so to speak. My weight shifts to the back, and I come all the way around the top of the feathers, and I come back down. I form this nice X block, and I push out, weight going to the front. Nice push out, weight shifting to the back. Push out again, back, and shift up into hold the ball. Very good. Off to the right, in, down the side, back up, form this ball, come down to the side, all the way around. See how my weight is shifting. So push out, shifting out over the front, and to the back, and back to the front. Shift back, rotate my foot, and close with hold the ball on the right. Reposition here. Let's go through those again. I'm going to turn to the side this time while we do these. And so we'll go through the same forms, of course, and starting with part the wild horse's mane. This nice and easy flow to these. Single whip. Nice perpendicular if you can. Your foot pushing out. Come back, drop the whip, reposition your left foot, and close with hold the ball. Back to the right. Grasp the whip with my left. Perpendicular step. And push out. Back in. And close the ball. Wave hands like clouds. Again, I step as I start my movement with my hands, watching my hands go by. Step and step and close. Back to the right. I step. Step. And step. And again, close. Repulse the monkey. Nice half step back. Pushing. Nice rotation. Come back over the top. And close by stepping back. To the right, half step. Push out with my left. Rotation. And come over the top. You can kind of see how some of these warm-ups we were doing, like the stop sign, is used in this particular form. All right. So rush knee. Again, just a nice diagonal step out. I'm going to brush my knee with my left hand here in this case. I'm pushing out with my right, and a nice rotation over the top as I kind of step up into it to hold the ball. And off to the right, a little diagonal step. Brush the knee, push out, and again, nice rotation as I come back, step up in to hold the ball on the right. Reposition here for lady shuttles, works at shuttles. So nice again, a diagonal step. I want to form the half of the block. Now I'm pushing out the other half. Rotate back, rotate my foot to get back in position, and I close. Now to the side, nice half, the other half comes up to it, we push out. Weight is going out over the front, I pull back, I want to rotate, and come back to hold the ball on the right. Repositioning. Wraps the peacock's tail. So again, nice step out. Hands go out just like in part of the wild horse's mane. Come back and I want to come back nicely and come up. Here's where I'm rotating over. It's almost like holding the ball or running your hands down the side of the peacock. And as I do so, now you can see my weight is shifting. Okay, my weight is actually over this leg here. And a nice rotating over the top. I come back, my thumbs locked together in this position, and I push out. When I push out, my weight goes over the front. My weight shifts to the back. Push out again, weight shifts to the front. Weight shifts to the back. Weight shifts to the front as I step up into hold the ball on the left. Grasp the peacock's tail to the right. I step out. Nice, easy forms. Nice, easy flow. Feel yourself just flowing into this. Nice, push out. Again, think about your body weight shifting. Push out. Weight shifts to the back. Weight shifts back to the front as we close with hold the ball. Excellent. So we've done forms twice, and we'll go through them at least one more time here. So hopefully everybody's doing good. If you need to take a sip of water or something, do so. Normally in the class, I will go through the forms rotation 4 times, and then we'll take a break, and we'll come back and do a couple more forms rotation and then a cool down. We won't go through all of those today. We have a little bit of a limit on the recording, but we want to get some good exercises for you. So let's again go through the forms one more time. So let's hold the ball on the right and just a nice step out. And these step outs or whatever you do. I'm used to kind of longer steps for myself. My body likes the longer steps, and I like the stretch of it. But whatever is comfortable for you is what you want to do. You want to take it to your limit. And you think about all these things, these exercises and the warm-ups and so forth are for the purpose of us to have better balance. So we'll talk a little bit about that through here now too. So single whip, we have a diagonal step here, and we're pushing out. And you think, well, you know what? This is probably not anything I'm actually doing while I'm walking down the road, but you'd be surprised at these things, because what we're really trying to do is prepare us for the things that are uncommon, not the common of walking. So yeah, it's a strange, there's different kind of a movement, but oftentimes we do have to change direction suddenly. And, you know, this is kind of what we want to be able to do, is to be able to have that steady, the ability to stay steady, okay? And even be able to reach out if needed, that we keep our weights. You have a nice distribution of weight here on this. Step back, rotate, and step into. I'm going to reposition myself here. And again, now we're waving hands like clouds. Steps. That's nice. That bathtub step. We're kind of waving, you know. And again, the idea is here that your eye, hand, arm, leg coordination is all a very important part of us keeping our balance and not falling, or just being able to do normal activities. So again, I step out, watching our palms come across. I step out again, and I step out, and we close with hold the ball on the right. Pulse the monkey, a step back. And oftentimes when we're walking or something, we do have to step back. And so we want to be able to know that we can do that confidently with our balance. Okay, so we have good balance right here. And we're pushing out, okay. And now we're rotating our body. And we do this kind of a big wave kind of a thing. And you know, a lot of times falls occur with this exact movement. You know, you'll be walking along and somebody says something and you have a tendency to want to turn around and see what they're up to, okay? And so when we're trying to do that, we're trying to turn, and if our body is not balanced, we take a tumble. So two things to keep in mind. One, don't make a sudden move on that, okay? And the second thing is stop. You know, in these movements we're doing here, we're not running and doing it. So we've stopped, and then we said, okay, now I can turn because I have stopped. I'm in good position, okay? All right, so brush knee. Again, we're just stepping out, brushing, pushing out, and this nice rotation over the top. Again, we do a lot of these rotations because they're really good, nice little strength builders and good balance builders. So again, step out, brush the knee, push out, and rotate over the top as our weight shifts to the front. Fair Lady works at shuttles. Again, just a nice diagonal. Bring it up, push out, come back, and nice close. Up to the right, step out, form half the block, come in. Again, push out and back and turn and step up into it. Changing positions. I like this form, the grass the peacock steel, because it really incorporates a lot of things and incorporates a lot of body weight shifting. So we step out, we kind of get our weight kind of going over a little bit, kind of balanced in between the two here. Then we bring out our lower hand and we kind of come back down with this nice Arthur Wild horse mane type of a form. Come back up, and I'm coming back up, and I'm putting more weight towards the front as I do this, okay? I come back down, putting my weight over my back foot, come over the top, and push out. Weight's going forward. I'm actually lifting my toes here. And you can see in this position here why we did the kind of the tap kind of thing with our toes, because this is basically what we're doing. Back again and pushing out. Come back again. Weight shift and back up, and a nice close on that. Off to the right, step out. Overhand goes out. Nice part the mane on the side, all the way back up, and come back down. Shifting over the top, and back out. Back down, and push out. And back, close, hold the ball on the left. Very good. I want to do basically that last move just to demonstrate the weight shifting again without using our hands. So basically just want to leave our hands wherever you feel comfortable with them. And so basically just step out with a nice little diagonal, okay? And then shift your weight to the front. Now shift your weight to the back and actually try to lift your toe up and back down again. Lift your heel up, back, lift your toe up, lift your heel up and back and step. Off to the right, nice step. Weight comes out front, weight shifts to the back, weight shifts to the front, weight shifts to the back, weight shifts to the front as we step up into it. All right, so let's talk just a bit about walking, all right? We all know how to walk. It's interesting to watch, to watch people of different ages, how they walk. And so you have youngsters and they're just kind of, enjoying the walk and moving along, and you have, teens and so forth. And as we age, our walk becomes more shuffle. And so we sometimes end up with this kind of a walk, okay? Very unsteady. It seems like it would be, but it's not. And so what we want to do is have that nice heel, okay? Just a nice heel walk. So Tai Chi walking, you can do this, is basically, you can think about it as I want to step and walk, and step and walk, and step, okay? Now you can practice that. You can practice around your house. You can practice it if you park your car in the parking lot. People might go like, wow, that's kind of strange, that person's walking like that. But, they probably don't know you, and they probably just wonder what you're up to. Again, one of the things, and of course, if you have a sticker in a car and you can't park far away, but my mother, who lived to be 95, and actually she had a exercise program called Bees. Her name was Beata. Her name was called Bees Busy Bodies until she was, 80s, late 80s. And she started it, I think, when she was 75 or something like that, maybe a little older. But anyway, what she always said was park in the furthest parking spot that you can, just so you get exercise, going to the store and things like that. So just little things, but try to do some walking. Try to do some walking around your house. You'd be surprised how many steps you can get in just walking around your house. And it's really good exercise. Again, keep in mind, okay, so I'm here and I'm going to walk. I'm not looking down here. I'm looking out here. And if you can raise your horizon up, it's very, very good. One of the things when we walk around the neighborhood, and my wife walks 4 miles every day around the neighborhood. But what I try to do is raise your horizon, and be surprised, and you start looking at the rooftops of houses. You can start off by looking at the door level, and eventually you're kind of looking at the rooftops as to how your stride changes and so forth. And so we find that, with younger people, they're looking out further out and sort of much more observant to things. All right, well, that's kind of does it for today. We'll do another session. We'll be talking again about more things that you can do for your own balance. We'll be going through these again in other sessions. So put our hand on our shoulders, Wishing everybody peace, and thank you so much for being here today. Well, and thank you.